Hey guys, how you doing? So the whole marital rape discussion has cropped up again, and in India, under the rape law, there is an exception, which is it is not considered to be rape if the woman is married to the man and she is over the age of 15. Now, I do have my reservations about this exception. For example, the age. I don't completely agree with the exceptions because, well, marital rape does happen. We cannot deny it, but the construction of the law is what I'm worried about. If it is going to be anything like 498A or domestic violence laws, we can say goodbye to the freedom of men in India. To start off, I would like to say that a husband raping his wife is not legal in India. I repeat, it is not legal in India. It's just not called rape. It's part of the Domestic Violence Act and Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. Sexual assault or forced sex on a wife is punishable under the law. Now, there was a debate recently on Times Now about criminalizing marital rape. I thought I'll just give my thoughts on the debate. Now, fair warning, people, the anchor is an annoying white knight that really gets on your nerves. He is biased, he loves shouting over people, and it pisses me off. And I'm pretty sure it'll piss you off as well. Anyways, let's just start off.
Okay, so we're going to begin the debate with Shazia Almi on the one side and Khushbu on the other, and then we'll open up the debate to everyone. So Shazia Almi, what exactly does your minister mean when he says that the entire family system in India will be under great stress if we recognize marital rape? How will any system in our country, Shazia, go under great stress if we give women their right to seek justice before the law? I mean, this is an absurd argument, but I still want to understand what the reasoning is. Yeah.
So yeah, he starts off stating that basically marital rape should be criminalized. Well, that's his standpoint at the moment.
Shazia and Khushbu's on the other side, then the debate is open. Yes.
First of all, let me make it amply clear that I don't believe marital rape is not there. I think it's a reality, and women go through all kinds of situations at the hand of their husbands, boyfriends, and other men, strangers as well. So let's not deny or run away from the fact. But my question is, how can you criminalize marital rape and make a law against it
Why?
when it's not implementable?
Why?
How can you determine what happens within the confines of a bedroom? How will you do it? What investigative officer will decide whether it was a rape or not? And
Okay.
the fact of the matter is that there is this difficult to prove rape even when it's in public spaces.
Okay, so you're saying...
You want to create...
Okay.
If a woman
No,
wants to
she's
see...
getting a
let me
counter
finish.
now.
I'm not... No. I have
Okay.
to say more. It's a 1 minute. Take
Can
one
I
sentence.
come in here,
One sentence. One last sentence.
One
And I will
sentence.
not speak after this.
Yeah.
If a woman is feel... No, you can later. Give me a sentence, ma'am, and you can say whatever you want to say after that. If a woman indeed feels that she's being treated shabbily, she's being raped, she's being attacked, assaulted, she can seek recourse under 498A, and she can on grounds of cruelty, torture. Why should she want to remain with a man who rapes her and have a law just for that which
No,
can
how
never
is-
be implemented?
Now, I don't agree with her completely on this matter, even though she is against the exception being removed from Section 375, that is rape, of the IPC. She says that the law should not come into play because it cannot be proven and the police will have to go into the bedroom of the couple to find out the truth in the matter. Now, I think that's not exactly the best argument you can start off with, because this law is applicable in many countries and it has helped women in other countries who have been raped by their husbands. And I don't say that it's impossible to prove. It is difficult. It is more difficult to prove than stranger rape.
Laws have to be rooted in pragmatism and reality. A law which is not enforceable is not a good law at all.
Okay.
So marital rape is a reality. But is this the way you fight it, and who's going to investigate?
No, I don't
What
know.
are the
I don't know. I can also equally argue.
I would like to know from
I can also equally argue, though I want Khushbu to respond to you. I can also equally argue that it should actually be said that the family system in India will come under great stress when a woman's trauma is declared worthy of justice or unworthy of justice depending on her marital status. What you're basically saying is that if you're a married woman, you can be raped. That is the basic argument.
That's a different
I want
point.
Khushbu, I want Khushbu
I'm
to
not
come
saying
in.
that. I'm not.
There you go. You see what I mean? Like Shazia said before, a man cannot rape his wife and get away with it. She can file a case of domestic violence or 498A against the husband. This guy, the anchor, is misleading the public to believe that it is legal for a man to rape his wife when it's fucking not. And it's clearly not.
No, that a woman loses her right to consent.
These are my reasons. Those
What
reasons
you're
are
saying is that the woman loses her right
My
to
reasons
consent
are
once
very
she's
different
married.
than those reasons.
Khushbu.
It's unimplementable.
Khushbu is taking one. Khushbu.
Cannot be enforced.
Okay, let Khushbu respond. Khushbu.
Absolutely irresponsible statement. Are not accepted under any
No,
circumstances.
it's very irresponsible
Under any
to seek a
circumstances,
law
this
which cannot
statement
be
is not
implemented.
acceptable. How
Just
can you
because it
say
sounds
that
good.
under marital
want
rape,
radical
a woman, if she is a woman, if she is no, Shazia, can I finish, please? This is not acceptable, especially coming from a person like Maneka Gandhi, who is the Child and Women Welfare Minister. Now, I would like to say, you mean to say that a woman, whether she's married or not, if she's raped, and if she is married under the so-called sanctity of marriage, you mean to say that a man thinks that's her property, and he
Yeah.
can use her and abuse her in
Let
any
Aishwarya
way
Bhatti
he
on the other
can.
side.
A sex between two individuals is when both are when
She can seek
both of them
recourse
agree
and
to it.
grounds of cruelty.
Even if she's married
There is a
or
law
she's
for
not
that.
married, a stranger or a husband, if he touches her without her permission, it's a rape. A rape is a rape.
Yeah, so now it's if he touches her without her permission, it's rape. Well, there you go. I really don't know how to respond to this female. I have no idea where the fuck she's been living all her life. There are laws that punish a husband who verbally abuses his wife. I'm not going to repeat myself here again. I know you guys get bugged, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I've spoken about it before, and so has Shazia, but this female has to come with the same old argument that a woman does not have the right to consent or the right to say no to sex after she's married. On the other hand, I'm actually not sure why Maneka Gandhi supported not making marital rape illegal in India, but I'm absolutely sure she has something up her sleeve. She's the same person that brought about the Justice or the Juvenile Justice Act. She's the one who said that all violence is male generated. She's the Union Cabinet Minister for Women and Child Development. She's also an ardent feminist. And when a feminist goes against a law that would benefit them in all sorts of ways, one has to really wonder if she just gave up on the gun in order to get a tank.
Period. Marital or no marital, a rape is a rape.
Let's hear the other side from. No, one second. Let's hear the other side. As food for
disputing
thought,
that.
Rahul Ishwar
There's
is
no
coming
dispute
into the
on
debate. I say, what is doing more injustice? Not recognizing a rape victim as a rape victim because of a marital status, and thereby robbing a victim of violence every shred of legal recourse, or making sure that the Indian Penal Code recognizes the crime committed against in terms of criminality.
She has legal recourse, as Shazia has already stated that. Is this guy's white knight armor so strong that logic does not penetrate it?
I mean, how is marital rape a concept? Maneka Gandhi says marital rape is a concept. Is it some abstract, complicated scientific theory? How do you call marital rape a concept? Rahul Ishwar, you're coming into the debate, and Advaita on the other side.
Let me point out two things.
Yeah.
Let me point out two things academically. This topic needs
This is not
much
an
nuance
academic
and much
debate,
depth,
sir.
We all agree.
This is not an academic
Shazia
debate.
said, hold on. Please let me at least raise a point, sir. Like Supreme Court in multiple verdicts pointed out, many woman-centric laws were given as shields, but they have been used as swords. this case is very tough to prove.
So you're
For
saying-
example, a woman turns up in the divorce fight and said, my husband has raped me multiple times, maybe 1 year ago, 2 years ago. It is difficult to either prove or disprove. This is a very serious point we have to think about.
No,
Second,
but
a
equally,
certain degree of
now
sexual
Adwaita
openness is
responding. Let's
presumed
keep it
in the
quick. No
institute
speeches.
of
No,
marriage.
so you can
We
say.
concede there are issues.
Listen,
we concede there are
Rahul,
some domestic violences.
Rahul, the other way of looking at it is that when a woman decides, at whatever age, that I'm going to marry this man, she loses her right to report a physical violation of her body. Saying that the grotesque act of physically forcing by a man onto a woman is justified because they're legally married. So you are saying, therefore, marriage becomes a certificate to justify rape.
Okay, this guy is actually starting to get really annoying because he's repeating the same old shit. When they say that it is not acceptable, it is not legal, and she does and can get recourse under the Domestic Violence and 498A. And the only guy other than the white knight anchor in this debate brought up a valid point, because most biased laws are being misused more than they're being used. And Supreme Court has stated several times that biased laws are being misused, especially 498A and rape. And there are several instances where when a woman cannot file a rape charge against her husband, along with the false domestic violence and dowry charges, she files a rape charge against the husband's fathers and brothers. This is how rape laws and laws provided for women are being used, and I'm absolutely certain that this law will be no different if passed.
Look at it logically, Rahul Ishwar. Marriage cannot be made a certificate to justify rape. Adwaita Kala. Adwaita Kala. Adwaita Kala.
Essentially,
Debate is
let's-
open, by the
let's-
way. Debate is open. Yeah.
Yes, let's back up a little bit. Now let's talk about what the minister said. The minister placed this in context. She said that, if you are sort of reasons for illiteracy, things like the Western context of marital rape cannot be applied in India. I mean, this does not make any sense at all. First of all, she's backtracked on her statement from June 2015. Don't know why. I assume there's some sort of political pressure that's going on around this. Don't forget, mostly it's men who are in parliament. Secondly,
the feminist line in all scenarios, it's mostly men who are in parliament. Well, you know what? It's these men that pass the rape laws, gender bias. It's these men who pass the 498A laws, gender biased. It's these men that pass the domestic violence laws, gender biased. The sexual harassment laws, gender biased. It's these men, the majority of men sitting in parliament, who are white knights, passing these laws to protect women. You think if these men were indeed patriarchal, according to the feminist theory, they would be passing laws to protect women? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you stupid?
you go ahead and you're not even willing to accept that something like marital rape exists. Now, if you're not...
Both of them have accepted that marital rape exists. They're just talking about the law and how it needs to be passed, about the misuse.
not going to accept it, how can we even debate it? If you're not going to acknowledge the concept of consent, how are we even going to talk about it?
Rahul
You want to digress, you want to talk about sex ed, but I think you need to talk about consent.
No, Aishwarya Bhatti is coming in. That's the basic issue. Aishwarya Bhatti believes there's nothing like marital rape. She believes that there's nothing like marital rape.
No, that's not what I believe, Arnab. Please.
Okay.
No, that's not what I believe.
Okay.
On the contrary, marital rape is a problem. It is a wrong. But the issue that we are discussing is whether it should be made a crime.
Now, so first off, before she even got an opportunity to talk, Arnab Goswami is already put words into her mouth, stating that she agrees that rape or marriage gives the man to right, or marriage gives the right to a man to rape his wife. Now, first of all, I'd actually like to say something about this woman first. She's an ardent feminist, and so is the first woman, Shazia, who is against the law. Out of the three people against this law in this debate, two are staunch feminists who in previous debates have stated that domestic violence, rape and sexual violence laws do not have to be made gender neutral, because there are no such cases taking place in India. That even if it takes place, it's 1 in a million. Again, just like I was confused with Maneka Gandhi, I am a little confused as to what their end game is. And I've got to point out that out of the 6 people who are guests and the 1 person who's the anchor, 6 of them are feminists, of which I'm sure. I'm not really sure about the other guy, Rahul Ishwar. I have no idea if he's a feminist, but I'm pretty sure that he's a blue pill man, because he doesn't seem to bring up the fact that men can get raped too, because that's actually a relevant argument in this particular debate, that if you're going to make marital rape a criminal offense, you've got to go both ways, gender neutral laws, and he doesn't bring it up in this debate. Anyway, moving on.
What?
I want you to understand that this is already a wrong which is recognized in the Indian laws. This is a ground for divorce. This is a ground for action under the Domestic
Malavika.
Violence Act. This is a ground for action under Section 498A of the IPC.
Exactly.
So there are already civil and criminal views to this wrong. Now what you need to understand is that we are a country where after 70 years of independence, we have still not got uniform civil code. Now not having
That has
uniform civil
nothing
code
to
has
do with-
actually become a tool to oppress women. No,
There you go, the feminist rhetoric. Something or everything is being used to oppress women. And that kind of gives it away, in case you didn't know she was a feminist already.
I'm just telling you how unique we are. So this kind of a unique society where bigamy still continues to be legal, where there the dignity of the woman is not, ravaged.
That has nothing to do
You
with
have this kind of...
That has nothing to do with it. Malavika.
No, you may say... that
No,
has
Malavika, it has
No,
nothing
it
to do
does.
it has
Arnab,
nothing
I
to do-
want to connect
It has
it
nothing to
to-
do with Aishwarya, Malavika is countering you. Malavika is countering you. Malavika Rajkotia is countering you, and then the debate is completely open. All
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
is, you are saying, Aishwarya, you are a progressive modern woman, and you are saying on the program that you want an official declaration that a woman becomes a mere commodity in the hands of her husband after a marriage.
Again, this cunt is putting words in people's mouth and stating something that is not true. A man calling his wife names, well, he's considered guilty under the Domestic Violence Act. A man calling his wife a bitch, even if she's acting like a fucking bitch, can get punished under the Domestic Violence Act. Basically, a man raising his hand when his wife doesn't tell him to can be considered domestic violence if you actually look into it properly.
You are basically saying that a woman has different rights
said
before
that?
marriage and after marriage. No, and a woman has different rights before marriage. She can complain about...
Can I come in now,
Okay,
Arnab?
Malavika, go. Malavika. Yeah, Malavika, go on.
No, none of that.
See,
None
there
of
are
that
two things
I'm
over
saying,
here.
Arnab. On
There
the
are two things
contrary,
over
I'm
here.
saying
And
it is already a wrong. You can't make it a crime.
No,
That's the
if she's-
issue that I'm
we
saying.
understand,
It's a civil
Aishwarya, we
wrong,
understand
partly a
what you're
criminal
saying.
wrong, but it
Yeah, you've said it. I'd like to. It is entirely a criminal wrong. And the fact of the matter is that it needs to be recognized as a criminal wrong of rape, not under any other heading of domestic violence and so on and so forth. So 498A for cruelty for dowry or cruelty, mental anguish, emotional, physical anguish is on the one side, but sheer decimation of a woman's physical persona and denying her agency over her own body stands on its own and must be recognized as that. The integrity of her body has to be recognized, not wrapped up in other forms of cruelty and so on forth.
Okay, to a certain extent, I actually agree with this woman, because marital rape or rape has to be recognized as such, but these women are not actually after a good way of putting this law, I'm pretty sure. and they're definitely going to make it gender biased. There is no doubt about it.
But in itself, that's one. The second is that the moment you do that, your whole perspective towards marriage will have to become more egalitarian.
So Malavika is talking about being egalitarian. I don't think she knows what it means. She's going to probably take it the same way feminists use the definition of feminism. I mean, if she's really talking about egalitarianism, none of these laws would be gender biased.
Because one of the reasons why it is resisted today is to say
how do you
that
address
for
the issue
many,
of misuse?
marriage is sacred.
How do you
and so
address
on
the
and
issue
so
of
forth.
misuse? Rahul Ishwar raises
No,
the issue
just
of
a minute,
misuse.
please.
Rahul Ishwar raises the question of misuse. How do you address it?
One point I want to make.
Just a minute.
Let's say Rahul also.
Just one point
Arnab,
I want
I
to
am
make,
telling
Arnab,
you about
that
the
you
issue
are
of
talking
misuse.
about. We are
I am
talking
telling
about
you
a
about the
relationship.
issue of misuse.
We are talking about a relationship of marriage where a physical relationship or sex between the man and woman is a fundamental thing. It's the basis on which that relationship exists. Let me tell you, in one of the judgments, in the words of the Supreme Court of India, the Honorable Supreme Court said that a marriage without sex is an anathema. So when you're talking about a relationship where the physical relationship
I'm
is
very
a
glad
foundation to that
Aishwarya is
relationship,
basically-
how can you make that where the lines are
Okay,
violated?
Malavika is responding to you, Aishwarya. One second.
Exactly.
It is just not
Please,
advisable.
Arnab, you have to let me come in.
Malavika.
Okay, we're going to actually get a lot of shouting over in this debate, so just bear with it. It's just part and parcel of Indian debates. Okay, so let's just continue.
Yeah, go on. Debate is open. Kushbu's coming in as well.
Exactly. That's my point. Because if denial of sex, that means a woman has to consent to sex as a marital duty. So Aishwarya is straight away acknowledging that a woman's submission to a non-consensual sex is what is required to keep a marriage alive, because
Now, I don't actually consider sex as a duty in marriage, and I also don't consider a man being used as an ATM as his duty in marriage. But that's how you see it, isn't it? That's how every single one on this panel sees it. A man being used as an ATM is basically a man fulfilling his duty. And what do these people think sex is? A gift, a sacrifice that they make? It's as if women don't enjoy sex. It's as if women don't have orgasms. It's as if sex is actually a pain for all women. Fucking duty.
it's a marital responsibility. I'm sorry.
Shazia.
This is the conundrum that has to be
Shazia,
avoided.
Rahul Ishwar and Shazia.
She's not doing a
Okay,
duty.
Rahul Ishwar first. Rahul Ishwar.
I don't understand.
Okay, Shazia
this.
first.
I have a
Shazia first. Rahul Ishwar after that. Shazia. Shazia first. Shazia.
Yes.
A woman must not have to have sex because it is a duty.
I have a biggest
to be used.
Shazia.
And a man should not be used as an ATM either. But that's fine, right? That's fucking fine.
And then Kushbu. Shazia, go on.
We all absolutely, we all know how deeply steeped our society is in patriarchal traditions and how violence and all kinds of violence, verbal
That is
and
the
sexual,
true of the word,
is used
Shazia,
within
it's
the
not
marriages
just here.
and without. Nobody is disputing that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm all for progressive legislation, even radical legislation, but a legislation that cannot be enforced, that cannot be implemented, in which you'll have to have a woman's word against a man, where no investigation
And it
is
is prone
possible,
to misuse.
where we cannot
Now,
have eyewitnesses. How do you make that happen?
Arnab,
The
can I
law
come in?
is
Can I
important.
come
The
in here?
detail of the law is important. A woman should.
And
Let me
Arnab
finish.
ji,
No, you can come in if you let me
if,
finish.
And if that can
You
be
can
pointed
come in and you
out.
must. But the point I'm making is a woman can seek divorce. Nobody would want. Nobody. Let me finish, ma'am.
Kushbu.
Ma'am, it takes 1 minute.
No, one
Ma'am,
second.
it takes 30 seconds.
Please.
Ma'am, it takes 30 seconds, ma'am.
Shazia,
Ma'am, it
please
takes 30
understand.
seconds for somebody to finish the argument. We can all shout and scream. We all feel equally anguished about this.
So basically, you've got a panel who believe that all women are oppressed, and it's a debate. Well, you know how the public is actually going to take this, don't you?
So that's not the issue. The point is you want to have legislation in place because you feel strongly about it, but how will the legislation work?
But
That's the
you
question
are
I'm
making,
asking
that's
you.
a
How will you
self-defeating
prove
argument.
marital rape?
Let me ask you, Shazia, let me ask you. One second. Okay, now Khushbu's coming in. Khushbu's countering Shazia. Khushbu's countering Shazia. Khushbu is countering Shazia. And all I'm saying at this point in time is all I want to say is, Shazia, now you also have to listen. You have to listen. The question the other side is asking you, Shazia. The question the other side is asking you, Shazia, is what does an act of rape have to do with whether the rape has been done by a married man to his wife or an unmarried man to a stranger? How does the violence committed change?
I'm not asking
How does the violence committed change?
Again, the violence committed doesn't change, just the term changes. A man can still be punished if he does it. I am repeating myself again and again, and this is getting annoying.
Now, Khushbu's coming in.
It is not
Khushbu, please.
We need to understand.
Nobody's running away from that. Let's go
Khushbu.
further. You want to have a law. How will the law be enforced?
Khushbu, please.
Yeah, we need to understand that a man cannot use a woman he is legally married to as an object of desire. A woman needs to give her consent even if she's married. A rape is when somebody forces himself upon a woman against her wish. And even if it's marriage, if the husband forces himself upon a woman, it is a rape and it should be brought in under a criminal law. We do not want to bring it under domestic law, domestic violence law. No. Domestic violence.
How do you prevent the misuse? Arnabji, if I can point out, not even one female activist here. Not even one female activist.
Okay, that's too much shouting for me for now. Alright, that's long enough a break.
Not even one female activist here objected to the point of misuse. There is a huge scope for a misuse of this law. It is very tough to prove. Like Supreme Court earlier pointed out, the woman-centric laws are being used as sword.
I can't be held to say that I don't object if you don't give us a chance to speak.
Now Malavika starts screaming at the guy for not giving her a chance to speak. I think she's the one she and I don't know the other female's name, the first female who spoke, Shazia, were the ones that have basically they're the ones that have spoken the most in this debate. The guy has spoken once or twice, that's it. And then she tells him that she hasn't gotten a chance to respond to it.
1 second, countering you, Malavika Rajkotia is back to the debate. Malavika Rajkotia, please. Malavika Rajkotia, please. Okay. Malavika Rajkotia is countering Rahul.
The Supreme Court has held, and without interruptions, please, and without repetition. The fact of the matter is that the Supreme Court has consistently said that scope of misuse of law is not a reason not to have it. So you've got a problem with 498A, nobody is going to scrap it. You've got a problem with murder, people being framed or politicians being framed, nobody is going to scrap it. For the same reason, when a woman gets raped, she does not leave her house because she knows it is not treated as a criminal offense. The day she knows it is the day that she will be able to call 100 and ask for a medical examination to establish that there is no consent.
Okay, I don't know how you're going to actually have a medical examination to establish there's no consent. I thought consent was verbal. I mean, unless it's actually forced sex which shows some defensive wounds or vaginal tears, I don't think a medical test is actually going to prove no consent. Even in those cases, if somebody actually practices bondage with consent, it can actually look like rape. Anyway, she actually states that a law that is misused does not mean that it has to be scrapped. I agree with her that a law that is misused does not have to be scrapped, but there should be a separate clause for punishment of people who misuse such laws. And the punishment should be the same punishment the man would have got if he was found guilty. Second, if you create a law which can be used purely on verbal complaint, you're asking people to misuse it. You're begging people to misuse it. And she cannot compare rape or domestic violence to murder. The matter of the fact, ma'am, the matter of the fact is that for a man to be arrested and tried for murder, there has to be sufficient evidence. It's not the same for domestic violence or rape. A verbal complaint can get a guy arrested. And after the man's name has been posted all over the front page, his life is almost over because he loses his freedom, his job, and any smidge of respect he had left. Also, framing a man for murder is different from filing a false complaint of rape or domestic violence. Framing a man takes a lot of work and planning. Filing a false complaint, however, is bloody fucking easy. All you need is a verbal complaint and a statement. That's it. And you filed a complaint against the man.
There is a difference. It just does show on her body.
Medical examination.
Please don't compare.
Aishwarya Bhatti countering you. Aishwarya Bhatti. Aishwarya, please. Aishwarya, 1 second. Aishwarya Bhatti.
The problem for me
Aishwarya Bhatti.
Malvika ma'am is my senior in the court. But I find it absolutely absurd that you're suggesting a medical examination to establish whether rape has happened for a relationship which is based on conjugal rights on both sides.
Please don't
You
take
are not
something
I'm
out
not
of
talking about the Supreme Court.
Oh, yes. Now you come back to my point.
Permit me to please complete what I'm
Aishwarya,
trying
what you...
Now, she kept telling people to not bug her when she was talking, and now she does the same fucking thing. A typical feminist? Oh, yes, she is.
You are coming exactly.
See, there is a very good saying.
Marital rape is not a conjugal right.
There is a very good saying. Ma'am, I did not interrupt you.
Conjugal right does not mean to rape her.
Even though I may be junior to you in your profession, but please extend the same courtesy to me.
Oh, please,
there is a beautiful saying in the family law that so long as there is love between the couple, they are really not governed by any law. But as soon as the love goes out of the door, the law comes in from the window. And this quotation is very, very apt. It's a quotation of law. And if you see the ground reality,
Aishwarya, I have a question for you.
I will not
I have a question for you.
That the matrimonial system
I have a question here. Can I come in? Aishwarya,
Now, Aishwarya Bhatti is saying that the marital system has become so fragile. How do you think it became this way? Because most of you fucking women here actually went ahead and pushed, or if not you, the women before you, pushed for laws like 498A and domestic violence laws. And then broadening of definition for rape laws as well. If there is strain on the family, it's because of the misuse of these laws, not because of anything else.
I have a very basic question, please, if I may. No, 1 second. Don't make it a technical debate. I'm very simple question I have to ask. And Rahul Ishwar, little bit, just wake up.
Okay, yeah. He does not want a technical debate because fucking he doesn't know shit.
Up a little bit. Be real. No, 1 second. Be real. Rahul Ishwar, be real. I know you take rigid positions sometimes. You enjoy taking those positions, but just have an open mind, okay? Now, here's a question. You are saying the basic argument is rape cannot happen within marriage. And you cannot establish that rape has happened within marriage. Okay? Now, let's say, why don't we say tonight on the news hour, Rahul Ishwar, that an act of robbery also, an act of robbery is not criminal if the perpetrator belongs to the family. Why don't we say that an act of domestic violence, right, is not criminal because the perpetrator belongs to the family? You'll never be able to establish it. Why don't we say that an act of murder,
By
an act of murder, 1 second, that an act of murder is not criminal if the perpetrator belongs to the family, or that an act of kidnapping, right, is not kidnapping if the perpetrator belongs to the family. I mean, which world are you in? The maximum number of rapes happen within families.
I don't know which world this cunt lives in, but it's not the fucking same. He loves comparing oranges to apples.
By the same
So be real.
Hold on.
So you
By the
can't
same
deny the rights.
argument, Arnab
So you can't
Goswami
deny the
tomorrow
rights.
say,
That's
we
my
have
question to you tonight.
criminalize
That's my question.
Emotional blackmail by the woman. Blackmail is
You
illegal.
come down to blackmail
is
now.
illegal.
All right,
Will you
blackmail.
say
The
that
argument
we
is
should
blackmail.
criminalize
Advaita Kala comes
emotional
into the blackmail
by
question.
woman?
Okay,
Will
the
you say we should criminalize blackmail, emotional blackmail by
all
woman?
husbands will be blackmailed is an argument being made by you. All husbands of India will be blackmailed by their spouses. Ridiculous argument. Khushbu's countering. Khushbu.
Of course, this cunt has nothing to go back to, because he uses a logic, and when the other person uses the same logic to counter him, he puts words in his mouth. He states that Rahul Ishwar said that all men will be blackmailed, which is not what he said. He just said that we should criminalize emotional blackmail if this is the case. He used the same logic that the anchor did. And then he just passes a statement putting words in Rahul Ishwar's mouth and then says it's a ridiculous statement. Well argued, my friend. Well fucking argued.
Khushbu's countering. Khushbu's countering you. Khushbu.
Rahul, you need to get one thing straight. It's not easy for a woman to come out and say that she was raped. Okay, no woman wants to flaunt it, saying that she was subjected to rape. Something which scars her forever. Please get this into your mind. If a woman comes out and says that she was brutally raped, whether marriage or no marriage, it means she was subjected to something which is going to stay with her and make sure that it reminds her what the kind of cruelty and brutality she has been to all her life. It scars her soul, not her body alone, but it scars her soul, Rahul. So get your facts.
Advaita Kala also countering you now. Advaita Kala.
Okay, so Khushbu says that it's not easy for a woman to come out and say she was raped, and that it scars her soul. Now that might be true. I've never been raped, or at least not like how the women have been. But I honestly wonder, how is it that real victims don't come out, but fake ones just seem to come out of the woodwork? False cases are an epidemic, and women have complete anonymity in rape cases, if that's what they actually want. Unless the woman wants her name posted in the papers or released, it will not be. And women have shelters and counselors to help them get over such matters. They have support systems, which are actually paid using the taxes that men pay for. And then you have completely left men out of the equation altogether. And again, how the fuck does it affect her differently if she comes forward? It only helps the victim if she comes forward. She can punish the perpetrator and get help herself. I don't know what psychological situation the woman will be in that particular situation, but she would be better off if she came out with it rather than keep it in.
Please.
One simple question.
The problem is, guys,
Let us not underestimate the social stigma associated with rape. So let us not make this seem like everyone's going to be trotting into the police station once this is a law. That is incorrect. There is a social stigma that is associated. You don't want to define rape. You don't want to define consent. You will not even get to the conversation where there are different types of marital rape.
Okay, first of all, yes, there is social stigma attached to rape, but when a woman gets anonymity, I think that stigma part can actually be erased, because nobody knows. And how does social stigma come into play when nobody knows?
There's battering rape. there's coercive rape, there's forced perverted rape. These are different categories of marital rape, which can be proven. But you will never get to that point in the conversation because you know what? We're Indian and the marital rape concept doesn't apply in India. And why does it not apply in India? Because it's a Western concept. I think it's more valid in India because this is where we have child marriages. This is where we have forced marriages. This is where we have arranged marriages. Here is where women
Here's a
don't
question.
choose their sexual partners and their marital partners. That is the ideal ground for marital rape. In fact,
Yes, Western countries have actually accepted marital rape as a crime. But they also have fucking gender neutral laws. Yeah, I agree that the youth model is actually used in a lot of places for domestic violence, and it kind of screws men over. But at least some men get some relief from domestic violence, and they don't get blackmailed using these domestic violence laws. Actually, they might. I'm not really sure about it, but it's kind of an epidemic in India. Blackmail for rape and for domestic violence, to extort money and to torture. That's basically how it's used here.
it is
What are we talking
necessary in our kind of society.
Here's a question. 1 second. Nepal.
That
Nepal.
is being
Rahul
given to
Ishwar.
this
Rahul
argument.
Ishwar. Rahul
No,
Ishwar.
please,
Rahul.
just for a minute, factually
Okay,
you need
Malvika.
to say that Verma Commission has recommended that marital rape be criminalized.
Question is not misuse. The
Nobody
question
Verma Commission has stated that marital rape needs to be criminalized. And in the same way, the Supreme Court had stated in 2013 that rape laws need to be gender neutral. And what did women's organizations do? They opposed it, saying that men will misuse it and that men don't get raped. So you can come with the argument that men don't need a law because they will misuse it. And at the same time, you say that laws cannot be scrapped because they're misused. I'm sorry, which world do you live in?
is talking about that. It needs to be there on a board.
you're not.
The Law Commission in the 172nd
Shazia Almi. Shazia Almi.
the Law Commission in the 172nd report on the review of rape laws said
I'm talking
don't
of the
criminalize
Verma
marital rape.
Commission of
We have to see
2013.
both
I'm
reports.
glad.
I concede the Justice Verma report.
Verma Commission, Mr. Rahul Eswaran.
All I'm saying is, I'm just saying, I want to make one small point. Let's not we are taking absolutist, purist positions on this. All I'm saying is, let's look at the details. Let's be nuanced about it. I'm not worried about the misuse as Rahul Ishwar
Yeah, we'll
is.
discuss the details.
There you go. She is not worried about the misuse because you know what? She doesn't give a fuck if it is misused and men suffer. Now, so out of the 7 people on the panel, 6 of them don't care about the misuse and about what will happen to the men that suffer the misuse. The one man who does is being drowned out by the rest of them. This is a panel full of feminists arguing about marital rape. I'm sorry, I can only see one result to this.
I'm worried about the use of the law as to how will it be implemented and enforced. And you know, your lawyers, think about it. We all feel very strongly
Like
about
any
this.
other lawyers,
But is this
Shazia.
kind of a radical legislation
So,
in answer to
Shazia, do you
actually
believe?
ensuring
Do you believe?
Murders don't happen in
a
open
framework
way.
whereby you
Okay, Advaita,
investigate
1
and
second.
public
Shazia,
view.
Shazia,
Of course,
Shazia.
rape happens.
Shazia,
But if a
basically,
woman
if I
see
can
the
bring it down to
remorse,
this.
that's the point I'm making.
No,
That's all
Shazia,
I'm saying.
basically, if I can bring it down to this, I understand today the strongest argument that Aishwarya, Rahul, and you are putting to Khushbu, Advaita, and Malavika Rajkotia is this: that husbands will be black.
Rahul's reasons are different.
Listen to me now, Shazia.
He says that that's the point that everybody's put in, and just seconds before, Shazia said that she doesn't care about misuse. And he says that everybody's strongest point is that husbands will be blackmailed. She and Aishwarya Bhatti don't really care about the misuse and how it'll actually affect men. They don't really give a fuck. Okay? So I don't know why this guy is again putting words into people's mouth, but Let's see.
This is not right.
Mine. Rahul
Shazia,
says
this is
his
not
views.
correct. This is,
My
I
reason
protest.
is views.
I protest.
We have very different reasons. You
I
haven't heard us.
protest. I
No,
protest.
Rahul's
You must
reasons are
allow.
different from mine.
Shazia, listen. A country like
Rahul's
Nepal,
reasons are different from
Nepal amended its laws to criminalize marital rape in 2006. Okay, Rahul Ishwar, get real.
Sri Lanka.
All husbands in Nepal are not being blackmailed. Chile criminalized marital rape in 1999. All husbands in Chile are not being blackmailed. Colombia, no, don't shake your head. Colombia criminalized marital rape way back in 1996. We are still debating it. All families in Colombia have broken down. All husbands in Colombia are being blackmailed. I mean, what kind of rubbish is this, Rahul?
Okay. All these countries also have domestic violence laws, right? Are they being misused as much as it is being misused in India? I don't think so. It might be being misused a little bit, but not as much as it is in India. No fucking way in hell. So it is different.
Do you have no argument? Do you have no argument? Then concede I have no argument
Don't
tonight.
take
A fucking cunt. Let me get on the fucking debate.
absolutist positions. Please don't
Absolutist,
take
you're the one who's taking an absolutist
Please
position.
don't have motherhood statements.
states that
Nobody
you
is
are
nobody is
absolute.
saying that all husbands will be blackmailed
states
or
that you
all wives will be
have
raped.
have-
Please don't take an argument where you say all wives
I am
will be raped
asking you-
or all men will be blackmailed. We need to have more nuance to this debate.
Well, the nuance is this, Rahul Ishwar. Now you're forcing me to say this. You're forcing me to say this. You are forcing me to say this, Rahul Ishwar, to you tonight. You're forcing me to say this. The nuanced position is that people like you want India to belong to countries like Afghanistan, Algeria, China, Haiti, Ethiopia, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia and Egypt. Right? Where spousal rape is still, considered.
The basic
No.
point is we value family system. We trust family system. There may be aberrations.
What family
but
system?
law and
Which
criminalization
family
is not
system
the way
says
ahead.
rape is
More
okay?
Sensitization, value education is the
What-
way ahead.
what family
Value
you really
education
lost
is the
our
way
touch,
ahead.
Kushbu, please,
You
Kushbu.
should- No, no, who said
Kushbu.
that?
Okay, I don't agree with his whole shit about we value family system and we trust family system and all that shit. Well, violence in a family system is definitely not the best way to go in any sort of way. But the anchor, Arnab Goswami, he looks at these countries as if they are beneath us. What gave him the right to do that?
Family system.
We concede
What
there are
family
This is the
system?
value of a
We
family
concede
system.
there are deviations.
Kushbu.
Family
We
is when the
concede there
husband
are
respects
issues.
the wife equally.
But family
He
system
understands
and
her wants.
family
He
is
understands
more
what she
trusted.
wants and what she doesn't want. That is the value
Yes.
of the family. You mean to say a man is allowed to rape a woman and that's the value of a family?
Who
What
said-
Well, a fucking woman is allowed to rape any man in this country. Any man. Any fucking woman in this country can rape any man and it's legal. There is no punishment a woman can get for raping a man. Absolutely none. And you know what she'd actually do? She'll go file a rape case against him. It's happened. I know only of one case, but it's happened. There was this woman who was like 25 years old and she raped a boy who was 15 years old. And then went and filed a complaint stating that he raped her. The police in the end actually found out the truth, but you see what I'm getting at. A man who's raped has no recourse. Forget wife raping the guy. Any woman raping any man.
nonsense are you talking, Rahul? I'm very disappointed
not
with you
allowed to
tonight. I'm
rape
very,
a
very
woman.
disappointed.
A woman-
That's-
and I'm
Please
gonna
don't
tell
make
you-
that.
Okay. Okay, nobody gives a fuck about your approval. It doesn't matter if you're disappointed. Khushbu, it doesn't matter if you're disappointed. Because, you know what? People don't need your approval to live their life. Your disappointment is completely useless. Who does she think she is to say that she's disappointed? Fucking hell.
All people who have a contrary
The problem is,
family-
you
family-
people domestic
Parliament
violence.
is trusting the idea of family
You
system.
think marital rape should come under domestic
Yes,
violence,
exactly.
where a woman is beaten up, where a woman is hit, she goes to the cop and she's bleeding, she has got a broken nose, she's got a swollen jawline, she's got a black eye, she has a broken arm, twisted arm, and say that as such, then she needs to prove that, okay, this is the brutality my husband has subjected to me physically, and then say that, okay, marital rape was there, but I can't prove it because it comes under domestic violence.
What nonsense is that? Why can't she prove it because it came under domestic violence? It still is illegal. She can still prove that there was forced sexual assault.
We need the law. The marital rape should be legalized, should be criminal. There should be a
Khushbuji,
criminalized law.
at least a
Not
physical
come
attack
under
is
Okay, Rahul Ishwar.
How do you prevent the misuse? Khushbuji, one
How do
humble
you
submission
prevent the
is this.
misuse of
For
a
Okay,
example,
Advaita with Rahul Ishwar.
How do you, I mean, this is a bogey. This is a bogey. Are you trying to tell me murders don't take place? They take place in open air? I mean, are those not hard to prove? Or do murders do all their killings in public view with witnesses in sight? Are you telling me all other laws are not misused, so they shouldn't exist? But you don't want to have a law because this will empower women. If they still don't, this is the most...
Okay, it's not about empowering women or any of that shit. But considering the laws that have been passed in the last 20 years or so, it's only going to screw men over, because when a particular crime is difficult to prove, what you guys do is make the law stronger so that men can't get away, including some innocent men. And this shouting match goes on for some time, by the way, so yeah.
Underreported crime. The government has not even bothered to conduct a study on this before declaring that it doesn't exist in the Indian context. I find that appalling. How could you not go out there? You think it's a debate about sex education and there's some false equivalence going on with sex ed? That we're a culture who don't talk about sex ed, so how will we accept marital rape? I think when you have juveniles, when you have small children going out and raping, you need to talk and educate the public about consent, about what qualifies as consent, about the woman's agency of her body. Those are the kind of conversations that need to be talked about. You're talking about nuance. 18 is the age of consent for women, but at 15 she can be married, and if she has sex with her husband, it isn't illegal. What kind of consent is that?
Okay, I have no fucking idea what these two are saying. I can't listen to both of them, and I'm not going to fucking listen to these two idiots again.
Have a 15-year-old child who is having sex because it's legal as per the law books. That is hypocrisy. That is a violation of
The magisterial processes,
Shazia, before you come in, a fact.
They're very important.
A fact.
There you go, a typical Indian debate.
A fact. One second, if I may. I want to just share
Listen,
one fact with you.
I totally
Shazia, here is one
I
fact.
appreciate-
Shazia, listen. I'll give some facts here today. It will shock you if I tell you the facts that are available here. I mean, we are talking about something, Shazia, that millions of women in India are facing as of now. In 2013, there was a UN survey. In 2013, please hear me, there was a UN survey. This is not just an India-specific problem. Shazia, the problem is that the moment I'm going to counter you with facts, you start speaking over me and you don't want to listen. Now that's not fair. The question is, in 2000, again, bhai, Shazia, 2 minutes, bhai, आप सुन लीजिए. अरे 2 मिनट प्रतीक्षा कीजिए. 2 मिनट, आधा 15 सेकंड प्रतीक्षा कीजिए. 2014 में there was a UN Population Fund and Center for Research on Women survey, which surveyed more than 9,200 men across 7 Indian states. You know, 1 out of every 3 men proudly admitted to a forced sexual act on their wives.
Now, yes, I've actually gone through the study, and because this video is long, I'm not going to actually look at the study in this video, but I'll do it in the next one. So look out for that. Secondly, how the fuck does he know that they proudly said that they raped their wives? That they proudly said it? How the fuck do you know it? Did you go and ask them? No, then shut the fuck up. Don't add words like proudly said it.
Every 3. And in 2013, as per a UN survey, 1/4 of 10,000 men who were questioned in 6 Asia Pacific countries, including India, believed that we have a right to sex with our partners without consent. Now, if I put this together and you calculate how many married women there are in India, and you should then ask how many women will benefit if you have a rule on marital rape, and how many women will be denied their rights.
Okay, sir, he's just gone on to repeat the same study. Again, I will be doing a video on it next. I'm actually not a good researcher or anything like that, but I've found faults in the study, which is a big deal for me because I usually can't find faults in studies. I'm not that critical. But yeah, I'll actually do it in another 2 days or so. Just look out for that.
Azia, today let's not make this a man-woman issue.
They should seek annulment.
He says, let's not make this a man-woman issue. I'm sorry. What? A marriage in the Indian context is between a man and a woman. I'm not talking about homosexual marriages here because I don't think it's legal in India. Or is it? I'm not sure. I forgot. Anyway. Secondly, rape, according to the Indian legal context, can only be done by a man to a woman. Domestic violence, any of this fucking shit, all this shit is between man and woman. So how the fuck do you not make this a man-woman debate?
And divorce.
Annulment?
No.
What about retribution? What about retribution? What annulment?
Please have.
Retribution is available in the Domestic Violence and 498A Act. This guy really needs to get his head checked. His brains are completely covered by the armor, you know, because he's a white knight. I think it's something like Magneto's helmet because, you know, Professor X or Charles Xavier's telepathy cannot actually reach his mind because of the helmet. I'm guessing his helmet is similar to that because logic just doesn't go into his head. What people have said just does not go into his head. He just hears what he wants and lets the others go, and that's pretty much it. Puts words into people's mouth. This is one of the most biased anchors I've seen after Barka Dutt. And trust me, she's not as bad as this, but she is bad.
Have divorce and
No.
punish the man for whatever, for cruelty.
No, I'm sorry. It's not.
You can have
It's not.
legislation in place,
No.
but if it's not enforceable, if it's
Okay,
not
last 5 minutes
implementable,
on the
it will
debate,
not happen.
Aishwarya.
It's a great idea, but
No.
it cannot be enforced. Please
Yeah,
find ways.
I just
Not a self-defeating position. You have accepted.
I don't know, this guy is like fighting for women's honor, fighting for women's dignity. She's in the front line, and look at that face of his. He's like, now all women will respect me and love me because I fight for them. Female approval, that's what you fucking want, isn't it, Arnab Goswami? Yeah, kowtow to them and fucking be a mangina cunt.
I just want to respond to the statistics that you gave, Arnab.
Yeah.
The answer to that statistics does not lie in criminalizing marital rape. It lies in economic empowerment of women. This is
Economic empowerment of women. She just means give women more money. She doesn't actually mean that give women more jobs or make women go and work. Well, she actually does mean give women more jobs. They actually after reservations in jobs as well. But yeah, she just wants women to get more money. Doesn't matter how they get it. They just need to get it.
a relationship. Marriage is a relationship that is based on love and conjugal rights. Can you make eve teasing? Can you make stalking, voyeurism, or teasing your wife an offense?
What
They are all
does love
offenses
got to do
otherwise
with eve
outside of
teasing?
marriage. Can you
What
make
does
them
love got to
offenses
do with
inside of
stalking?
marriage?
Sorry.
No, you
Sorry.
can't.
What does love
It
have to do with
can't
eve
be
teasing,
made
stalking,
offenses
voyeurism,
inside of
and
marriage
rape?
because this
What
is a
does love have to do
relationship
with
that is
rape?
based on
What does love have to do with rape?
understanding and conjugal
What does
relationship.
love have to do with
Period.
rape? You tell me, what does love have to do with eve teasing, voyeurism,
No, then what does
stalking, and rape?
teasing, what does
What?
stalking, voyeurism, why can't you make these as offenses against your
Well,
wife also?
well,
Stop husbands from doing all this. And let me tell you one
think you're stretching the argument. Malavika is countering you. Malavika Rajkotia countering you, please. Now we have 3 minutes left. Malavika is countering.
She has the option available to her. India is a country where no all cruelty is actionable. We are a country where divorce death, our criminal jurisprudence turns on its head, and we have, criminal jurisprudence is always on the side of the accused, but in dowry death cases,
I don't understand this technical argument.
To prove his innocence.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the technical argument because he hasn't actually looked into the fucking laws. And Aishwarya Bhatti has actually said it herself that the burden of proof goes on the accused when it comes to dowry death. And that's completely true and entirely true. I will actually put a link to the law in the description. But yeah, when it comes to protecting women, what happens is they have to erode the rights of men. At least that's how these people see it. It doesn't have to be that way, but they just need it that way.
2 minutes on the debate. Malavika is countering. Advaita is countering. Who's countering first? Malavika is countering first. Go ahead. Malavika, yes, please.
The bottom line, again and again over so much time, what Aishwarya has simply said is that conjugal right includes marital rape. I disagree with that because I find it disrespectful, I find it awful, and it basically demeans women, and we are working towards a gender egalitarian society.
Please, Arnab, I need to come in also.
Advaita first.
That's all I'm saying.
Advaita is countering Aishwarya. Advaita as well. Advaita as well. Advaita.
And your distortion will not really help.
You see, this is the problem.
Okay, very quickly.
Advaita.
Since no one is going to define consent, I'm going to go ahead and define rape. An act of penetration which is violative, which a woman does not want, whether she is married or single, constitutes rape. Whether you want to call it spousal rape, marital rape, married women get raped as well, and often they get raped by their husbands, and that is a reality. The government needs to come around to that.
So long as married women are economically dependent on their husbands,
That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing. Economic independence has nothing to do with violation, ma'am. Nothing to do with violation. It has nothing to do with being raped.
So long as this law is not enforceable.
Argument.
So long as there is ambiguity regarding.
There you go, just screaming at each other and nobody understands shit. One guy says, so long as law is not enforceable. The other one says, it doesn't matter what economic empowerment is. The other one says, economic empowerment is needed and that women are economically dependent on their husbands. And there we go.
There is no room for that kind of argument when it comes to rape.
Let us not criminalize. We all concede there are issues, but criminalization is not the way ahead. We all concede there are issues, but criminalization is not the way ahead. Just like emotional blackmail cannot be criminalized, marital rape cannot be criminalized. We concede there are issues, but this is not the way ahead.
Mr. Ishwar, Rahul, thank you. Please go back and read Indian Penal Code 375, which has essentially been in very succinct form quoted by Advaita on the program. See the definition of rape, 1 second, and then go back and ask yourself, how does this definition not apply to a husband? Point.
Yeah, he needs to actually go look at the rape laws as well and ask himself, I'm talking to the anchor of course, how does this not apply to a man? How does this not apply to a woman being the perpetrator and a man being the victim? You know what? He's probably one of those guys who thinks that a man has to be turned on for his dick to be erect. We've got enough men like that in this world to fuck us over.
Point number 1. Point number 2, Rahul Ishwar, certain degree of discomfort that I observed today in your behavior. You're uncomfortable about this issue. And that discomfort stems from, I don't know, some kind of genuflection on the subject. Now listen, Rahul, accept the subject. Times are changing.
Patriarchy.
No, not patriarchy. I don't use cliches. The fact
Patriarchy. That was a good one. With the air quotes as well. And yeah, he doesn't use cliches.
fact is, you say a woman has different rights before and after marriage. I say tonight, this is a direct contradiction of Article 14 of the Constitution that defines equality.
Actually, it's not. It just says that there should be no discrimination based on gender, caste, religion, or race. It doesn't say anything about the marital status, to be honest. But you know what? That particular part of the constitution has also been used because it has a small, sub part under there which states that they can have affirmative action for women. Yes, that laws can be created specifically for women. So all laws created for men have to be given to women, but all laws created for women do not have to be given to men. I'm sorry, you can just take out that equality part of the constitution completely and throw it away because it's not used and it is utterly useless. Or at least take the gender part out of it, because the sub or the third part of Article 14 completely negates the gender part of it.
Let's have a debate on it. Let's have an open debate on it.
Article
And I think Indian politicians are uncomfortable with this subject. I say tonight, Indian politicians steeped in
For
patriarchy.
God's sake,
Steeped in patriarchy.
Indian
Article
politicians
14 is not a standalone article.
Indian politicians steeped in
every so-called
patriarchy.
progressive is
Indian politicians,
Article 14.
Indian politicians steeped in patriarchy are as uncomfortable about this subject as you are, Rahul Ishwar.
Yeah, so he doesn't use cliches.
But it is our job. It is our job to make them debate it. I think we debate it. We debate it openly.
It will lead to
And
anarchy.
get over your biases, Rahul Ishwar. I thank you for joining me on debate number 2 on the News Hour tonight.
So that's about it for the debate. Man, that was a long video. But yeah, now and these are my thoughts on the conclusion of the debate. And there might be a reason why this debate has heated up recently and people are pushing for this law, because 498A and Domestic Violence Act has lost its sting. I'm not talking about the legal sting, but the social stigma attached to it. Because of the rampant misuse. And so they want a new law to chain and torture husbands. They really do. That's all they want. And I do not know how they're going to prove non-consent, but most likely it's going to be his word against hers, and everyone knows who wins in that situation. They enacted domestic violence laws, which stated that a verbal complaint was enough to get a man locked up and stripped of his rights. Well, it's going to be the same in this case as well. Now, Deepika Bharadwaj, a men's rights activist who I respect a lot because of what she does, has said several times that the cases are not about the verdict, but about the trial itself. And you know what? It's true. The trial is torture. I've seen a close friend's family go through it, and it was indeed torture. My friend's brother was actually lucky to come out of it unscathed. But after this case was filed, they were treated as outcasts by their relatives and friends. The majority of men, though, are not really that lucky. Most of them lose their jobs running behind the case. And the case often goes on for years. Sometimes 3, sometimes 7. I really don't know how long it goes on. And there are some in the end who commit suicide because they just can't take it anymore. It is about the trial. It is about the torture in the trial. It is about extorting money through blackmail. This is what domestic violence laws are used for now. This is what rape laws are used for now. And I'm talking about the misuse. I'm not actually talking about genuine victims. My heart goes out to them, but I'm talking about the assholes who misuse these laws. Now, I'm skeptical of the feminists who oppose this law, because they might have opposed this law because they know people are already afraid of marriage. Once this law is passed, men and families might abandon the marriage system. Now, this will only cause more problems for a lot of women, because you know what? they won't be able to extort money from men anymore. You know, one side of me wants this law to pass so men can just stop marrying altogether, and we'll see what women actually do. The other side, however, thinks of the men in marriages right now, in the present, and those who marry without any knowledge of the laws. Now, that is extremely common in India. I mean, most men do not know their rights. I didn't know it either up until 2 years ago, or actually I think last year. And that's the truth. We just do not look at the laws, and neither do women. But the thing is, women don't need to, because all the laws are in their favor. Men need to look at the laws, and we often don't. Guys, if you have any friends, please fucking at least let them know that there are these laws that exist. Do not tell them about MGTOW if you don't want to, but tell them that they don't have rights in several situations. Now, before I leave, I know I might be actually misunderstood, but here's my final statement. I'm all for marital rape being criminalized, but, and this is a big but, only if all laws are made gender neutral, period. All laws, as in sexual violence, rape, domestic violence, section 498A, every single law being gender neutral. That is the only way that I'd say that marital rape should be criminalized. Because you know what, creating new gender biased laws are definitely going to fuck over men, because the ones that exist are already fucking men over. Anyway, that's been a long video, so